photography comes with a lot. Are you ready for it? Are you ready to learn? You have to build yourself to become valuable enough for people to use you or need services from you. Having the desire doesn't mean it will bless you.
Now, you didn't go to school to become a photographer or a videographer. What's the process?
So I would say I've always had a passion to be a photographer, because I quite remember my brother was in Russia. He was schooling in Russia, and he bought a camera. I was just taking pictures, posting them online on Facebook. I was young, very young, and I was like, what's my brother doing? So he came to Ghana with a camera. So I always take the camera, just playing around it. I didn't know much about it. I was just saying, he would tell me, oh, this how to shoot this out. So I didn't really acquire a lot of knowledge from him, because he was also not like a professional. He was just doing it as his hobby. Then fast forward, I went to the university. I still had, this was from SHS when I've had the passion to be a photographer, just because I'd seen my brother doing it. So I was like, yo, I have the interest for this too, because my brother is doing it. I know someone doing it, because I normally don't see, sometimes the things we see around us motivate us a lot, because I saw my brother doing it. Imagine I'd seen my brother doing something wayward. I would have had the interest to do.
Whoa.
So that comes with also having role models in our life. So my brother was my first role model in photography, because he was doing it, taking nice pictures, and I just wanted to do what he was doing. So, but he didn't take it like a professional, from the professional side. So it was his hobby. So fast forward, I went to the school, KNUST. I met twins, and they were like doing it professionally. And I was like, yo, I really want to be like these guys. I really want to do what they are doing, how they are making money out of photography. They weren't making much money then, but the zeal they had for photography drew my attention and passion more. I'm like, these guys are schooling, these guys are going around shooting events and all of that. I'm like, so I linked up with Samuel, that's the elder twin. And I'm like, bro, I like what you're doing, and I want to also be like this, like do what you're doing. And I was like, yeah, why not? Come on board. So we started rolling together, and we had a dream of building a company, Swag of Africa. They had the vision. And I was like, yeah, I want to be a part of this dream. I really want to be a part of this dream. So fast forward, when they were taking pictures, I was like, I will study videography. I will learn videography on my own. So when they are taking pictures, I'll just be doing the videos. I didn't know anything about videography. I was just that's one thing too, maximizing time. Maximizing time, because, the natural man, the loss of this earth is based on time and chance. You get what I'm saying? So we don't have all the time. So maximizing time and also using the time to favor your potential. So during that period when I was learning the videography, I was doing the videography with them. I was using YouTube. I maximized my time learning YouTube, learning from the internet and all of that. So that's how come, and that's what we've been doing till now. So the process, the learning translated into the experience. So that's how.
So you're a product of the YouTube university.
Exactly. I'm a product.
It's fantastic. I mean, how many people here utilize YouTube? Yeah. I remember when I was in pharmacy school, there was a topic that was really hard for me, and that was some parts of the kidney called the nephron and how it produces urine. And when they taught that in class, I didn't get it. So I went on the internet, YouTube, and then I found this guy, lecturer all the way in India, who was explaining that. And hey, so no, that's great. That's fantastic. Yeah. Because I saw you those times when I used to come to Ghana a lot and then go where you and the twins around the same house. It's always fun around. Yeah. Then fast forward, we see you working with Stonebwoy. But I know you didn't always start as the creative director for him. So how did that happen?
So my encounter with Stonebwoy came for a shoot. Everything that has happened in my life is through the twins. And I'll say this again, having role models is key. People you look up to, people that you follow. You need to follow. You need to follow people. You cannot just be like, this is what I want to do and just start. Because they are pioneers. I'll say they are pioneers. And pioneering something, you need followers to understand what you have brought into existence to make an impact. You get what I'm saying? So there was this grace. There is a grace placed on those twins. So there is a grace of arrival. There is a grace of arrival. I don't know. You know twins.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah.
Everybody knows them.
Yes.
And people sometimes don't understand what at all do they shoot. So I'm like, this is the kind of grace I'm looking for in these guys. And I don't care no matter what. I will follow and serve. I will learn a lot from them. So Stonebwoy came to the house to have a photo shoot with them. And I just did a behind the scenes video of the photo shoot at home. The video was sent to Stonebwoy, and Stonebwoy was like, wow, I love this. He DM'd me on Instagram, bro, let's move, let's work together. And he texted twins that, yo, we should come home for a meeting. It's like he wants to work with me. He wants us to move. I was like, why not? So that was my encounter with Stonebwoy. I started being his photographer and videographer, being on road, and now I advanced to being his creative director through still learning, traveling with him to see how his music videos were shot and all of that. I was still learning on road, and now I have become his creative director. Yeah, so it's been a process. It's been growth. And I'm still learning and I'm still growing with him. Yeah.
No, it's very interesting to hear.
I'm still growing with him.
You know, it's very interesting to hear. Not many people understand learning from people.
True.
Not many people understand that. Everybody wants to do it and be the giant. Exactly. You know, but that process that you went through, I think that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Let's imagine there's an individual who is sitting at home right now and they're thinking, I want to get into photography or videography. But you see, the problem we have here is when your parents take you to school, they expect you to come out of school with a profession and get a job to do.
Right.
I can't imagine how many times that my father told me, Charlie, stop, slow down with the music, and get the degree. I mean, it was very good information, like very good advice in those days because it worked out. How has it been for you?
I also have the same experience because my daddy took me to school, university, to study land economy. My daddy did land economy in Kenya University. I sat in the same classroom as my dad. Yes, he studied land economy. Then he became a pastor, so he stopped what he was doing to become a pastor. Then he told me, I could also do land economy, so I chose land economy. And then I went to Kenya University. Then from school, he's seeing that I want to be a photographer. He wasn't understanding it. He was like, how am I going to make a living out of this? How am I going to make life out of this? So it's been the same experience for me as well, whereby my parents didn't really, it's not like they didn't support. I have very supportive parents. But then they wanted me to understand the path that I was choosing. And now, for many young ones, we have the desire to do a lot of things, but being aware of your desire alone will not bring you into full experience. You need to understand what you want to do. And when I say understanding, you need to maintain the faculty and fortitude to actually know the dynamics of whatever path that you are choosing. Because photography comes with a lot. Are you ready for it? Are you ready to learn? Are you ready to invest? Are you ready to do all of that? So I've had the same experience, but then I understood what I was doing, and it took me a while to understand me being a photographer. It really took me a while to understand what I was doing. I didn't just arrive in BK Studios. Even finding the name K Studios was another thing. A friend just said, yo, you are K, why don't you just do K Studios? And I'm like, okay. So I took that from a friend. I took that from a friend. Now, I'm just taking pictures, but what am I translating into the world? What kind of images do I want people to know me for? What kind of identity do I have to stand in for my brand as K Studios? That is when I realized that, no, anything you do in this world, there has to be an understanding of what you are doing to really define yourself. So when I met Stonebwoy, I've worked with Bisakede.
Oh, yes.
I've worked with
Yes.
Bisakede. Through working with him, also helped me a lot because I began to understand that Minecraft attached to another brand comes in fullness. Do you get what I'm saying? It comes in fullness. So I'm able to tell a story. I'm able to tell the story of people through my lens. And that is when I began to understand that this is my calling. This is what I have to do. And I've just been consistent with it so far. So I've just been consistent with it. Telling stories of people through my lens, telling stories of brands through my lens. And it's just me understanding what I was doing, and now it has become like, yeah.
Look, there's a young man out there,
Yeah.
and that guy is saying to himself, how do I pick up a camera and go through this process and potentially make even 1,000 CDs out of it? How does that look like?
I think first of all, the focus shouldn't be money.
Okay.
The focus shouldn't be money, because like I already said, having the desire doesn't mean it will bless you. Having the desire to be a photographer doesn't mean it's gonna bless you. It comes with everything we do. Comes with there are things that support it: character, discipline, morals, and time. You know, so the money the money is not the thing that has to be on your mind, but rather you have to build yourself to become valuable enough for people to use you or need services from you. Because once you become a value, that is when people come to you, and that's what is going to translate into you making a living out of it. So any young person watching me right now who wants to make a living out of photography, it doesn't just start with taking a camera, taking pictures, and earning maybe 10 CDs, 1,000 CDs, 500 CDs. You are the value. You are the value. People have to look for you. People have to come for you. Your services should be needed. You get what I'm saying? Then it translates to you having to make a living out of this photography. So whatever that you've seen out of photography that you want to become, thinking that is there is money in it, and you also want to make the money. It's not just that. That shouldn't be the focus. The focus should be you being of value to society. Yeah, that is it. That's when you literally the money comes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been in conversations with people, right? And you mentioned visa.
Yeah.
There's been times where projects will be given to certain people in the creative industry, whether it's photo editing, videos, or photo shoots that artists or other brands have done. There's a massive delay in getting those products back to the people who have paid for those services. What usually causes all of that?
I think naturally some people are just slow in delivering. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying that it doesn't just come with just being a photographer. There's character behind it. There's morals. There's discipline. You know, I'm one of the when I'm in London, yeah, and maybe somebody calls me for a project and I go to shoot and I send it to the person the next day. They don't understand, and it's of the same quality. You get me? They don't understand it. Like, how are you able to edit this so fast? Because sometimes Stone just finishes the program or the show and the video is out maybe that night or that. I'm like, this is what I've trained myself to become. This is how I have trained myself to become, to be able to deliver. You get what I'm saying? So that comes with character. That comes with discipline. So for people that delay, it's them. I'll say it's them.
But you are in the industry.
I am in the industry.
And you hear a lot of these things. I've met people who
of these things.
their weddings,
I know.
like it either crashed, something.
Yeah. That's why that's the same thing I'm saying. You need to add discipline to your occupation. You need to add discipline to your occupation and know how to treat clients. Because at the end of the day, the client is rather important, you know. So you need to really add discipline to your occupation, because having to delay projects is not just going to affect your it's going to affect your brand at the end of the day. It's going to affect your craft. It's going to affect your job. You're going to have a bad name out there. So having to add character, discipline, and morals comes a lot.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's so bad.
So
sometimes it's so bad.
It's sad sometimes. It's really sad.
If I wanna get into the space of, let's say, follow my passion, what would you advise me to do? I just want to follow my passion.
You just want to.
Yeah.
One question you need to ask yourself is, do you love what you're doing? Do you love what you're doing? When you talk about passion, when you talk about loving something, it comes with commitment, it comes with sacrifice, it comes with desire. You know, that is loving something. You cannot just love what you are doing and spend 10 hours sleeping and 30 minutes learning about it. Do you get what I'm saying? So you want to follow your passion. Do you love it? Can you sacrifice? Can you be committed to it? You know, so these three things, when you come in fullness, these three things are very important in following your passion. I have been consistent with whatever I'm doing. This is my passion. I've never done any other thing. Whatever I studied in school, I didn't do it. I've just been consistent. And consistency is the proof that one has got light to understand what he's doing. Do you get what I'm saying? So this is, if you see that this is, if you are able to come in awareness that this is your passion, this is what you love to do, you have to break it down into three. Can I be committed to this? Can I sacrifice everything for this? You know, if you cannot, that is not your passion. That is not your passion. Look for something else to do. That is not your passion. So the love towards it will actually be the push into getting it into its full capacity. Because like I'm saying, I have never done any other thing. I have just been consistent from day one till now, and I'm still learning, and I'm still consistent. I don't know where it's taking me, but this is how far I've come. So I can only believe that this dream I've had, this passion that I've had, and all these sacrifices that I've made towards it has come into this fullness. So it's not at this time that I will give up. I only have more strength now to bring it more forward. You get what I'm saying? So
did you ever think of giving up?
Times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
That's one limitation that comes with entrepreneurship. You know, that's the limitation that comes with entrepreneurship. I remember there are times that, especially when I didn't understand what I was doing, I was like, so am I just gonna do this? I didn't understand anything. I was just like, what is this at all that I'm doing? Like, is photography gonna make me buy a car, build a house, and all of that? But then I think that was when God told me something, that you need to align your purpose with God's purpose to make it the purpose. You get what I'm saying? So every time if people ask me, is photography your job? I'm like, it's my calling. It's my calling. So now when I understood what I was doing and what I'm doing now, the goal is now to impact more. There has to be a generation tied to my destiny. You know, there has to be a generation tied to my destiny. There has to be people that look up to me. There has to be, whatever God gives you, it has to flow through you to other people. If He stays with you, you die. If He stays with you, whatever God gives you, any gift that God gives you, it has to flow through you to other people. So if it stays with you, you're going to die. So having to understand that this was a calling actually paved the way and gave me more sight in what I was doing. Okay, it just opened my eyes. So I had to add this name to my Instagram page, God's Lens. That was the day I had the full revelation of my job that I'm saying is my calling, and I added it, God's Lens. on my bio. It's under my bio on Instagram.
When I'm doing something, right? For example, this podcast and the many other businesses that I've started, there's one thing that I usually don't think about, which is giving up.
Giving up.
But I always have a method, and my method always is do it to the best ability you can, the highest quality, and do it fast.
Yeah. Because we don't have.
Is the fail fast mentality. Yeah. So if I'm going to fail within the first 6 months, I should know.
Yeah.
When you started working with Stone and all the other creatives that you've worked with, were there times that you felt that this is the point where you may want to not carry on anymore?
Actually, when I met all those people, that was when I understood. That was when I understood that I am arriving. When I wanted to give up, I hadn't met those people. When I wanted to give up were times that people were telling me, "Oh, the twins say China, say
Right.
yeah, say yeah, say yeah."
Right.
That was when I wanted to give up, but that was when I didn't give up. The Bible says your gift will bring you in front of great men. So when I met all these people, that was when I began to understand the journey.
Okay. So you see, I wrote this on my Instagram, and I said, when you are copying someone or following someone, you need to follow very carefully.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if that person fails, you will fail. Or if they change direction too quickly, you will fail. And you'll be stuck.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm seeing. The twins have been very instrumental in your process.
Yeah.
And you've worked with them for all these years.
All these years. We are like brothers.
Brothers.
We are
Family.
We are brothers. We are brothers.
Now,
Brothers.
it then got to a point where you carved the path for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the point where you felt that, nah, this is it. Now, this is what I want you to tell us. At which point do you think it is important for you to take a path away from your role model?
For me personally, let me just, in our arrogant world, yeah, followers, when they think they are getting better, that's when they think or feel they can ignore the foundation. But we can only be an improvement on the foundation that was laid. Twins has been my foundation. Regardless of how far I go, that foundation, if you have a strong foundation, it's like it's like this building. When the foundation is weak, it's gonna collapse. So those are my foundations. So in my experience, I don't think that I'm gonna go off that foundation, or I'm gonna pave my own way. I will pave my own way with all the resources that comes from that foundation. Because when the foundation is not there, I'll be hanging. So I'm moving now. I'm working with Stone. We are still doing Swag of Africa. I'm doing amazing things. I'm getting to travel around the world and all of that. It's sometimes beautiful when I meet someone in Paris, or I meet Ima in UK, we meet in America, it's so beautiful. And then when we meet, we get to work.
Right.
We get to work in the same location and still do more better. So for me, I don't think I need to pave way, or I've created my path though, but I still have the foundation.
A lot of creatives have put artists into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I mean. I personally work with an artist every now and then who's had a few creatives not come back to the country with them.
Yeah.
Because they decided that they want to stay wherever they are. What are your thoughts on that? And because I know you've been around the world.
Yeah. Those are for people that actually do. Those are for personal reasons. But all the same, I think we should also know the kind of people that we move with and the kind of people that we surround ourselves with. Great people are surrounded by sycophants. They see you as a ladder. want to climb, but they have their reasons. And there are some people that come in to grow with you, that come in to be there with you. You get what I'm saying? So such people have always had their intentions. They've always had their intentions. You were just a ladder. They just leveraged upon you. You were just such people. Sometimes it's beautiful and understanding to communicate that to your artist that this is how far I've come and this is where I want to be, and it's beautiful. But then sometimes the artists travel with creatives and they just dash. They don't see them again.
Yeah.
So sometimes at certain levels, people's true colors really, you get to know that this is who the person is.
Well, you see, you say that, but we all understand the lifespan of the average African artist.
Yeah.
The music life of the artist.
Yeah.
And the majority of them doesn't go beyond the 10 years. Majority, plenty of them. Especially the people who are not in the high life space. It's quite short.
It's quite short.
I can then begin to think that certain creatives will be thinking, hey, the time is getting near. If you're working with an artist whose shine is not picking up as much after the 10 years, then what do you do as a creative? Because your job is at stake.
So, building value is key. I said something about maximizing time. You're talking about lifespan of an artist. How did you maximize your time when you had all the systems supporting you? How did you maximize your opportunities around the artist when all the systems around him was supporting you? You have to build value for yourself. You have to build value for yourself. And it's so beautiful when you're working with an artist, he's going, you're also going, he's there, you're also there. That's like you become like generals. You become generals. There wouldn't even be a second thought of like thinking, oh, this art is good. Small time it go fade away, so make I just find my way, go somewhere. No, there has to be belief. You have to believe in what you're doing. You have to believe in the artist you're working with. You have to always find a way to maintain your value. One thing that I would say is in this country, we have no maintenance culture. We lack maintenance culture. We cannot we don't maintain good things for long. Do you get what I'm saying? And we don't really value things. So value is really important. Whilst you are working with an artist, you need to build value for yourself. You need to also your contribution to his craft is also key. That will also build more value on him. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's more about believing in what you're doing, believing in where you have to go, and building value for yourself. That is it.
I like the answer.
Yeah.
I like it. Hey, once again, if you haven't subscribed, please do like, share, become part of the family. Connected Minds. I'm going to lead on to this question. The last episode we had was with a lady who spoke a lot about real estate in Ghana. And she had a beautiful question for you.
Yeah.
And the question is, what is the craziest real estate story that you've experienced or heard?
Well, this is more of an experience. So there was this guy, this man. He has this real estate company, apartment building of this, this kind of estate agencies, and he came to us on some good deal with the twins and I, like, yo, we should buy he's building some houses. We should buy one, and he's gonna like in, I think it was in, let's say, March. That was like 2 years ago. In December, he's going to finish, and if he's going to finish ours, I mean, if we should pay quickly, he's going to finish ours, we move in and rent it. So the December came, it was still the same. We went to the site, it was still the same thing. Now, but we weren't smart enough. So I think it was just because we trusted him and we did some projects with him. We did our exhibition with him and all of that. So we went to his office. We were just telling him that. He was like, yo, tell him what he said. He was like, when did I say all this?
Whoa.
You have to, if you don't pay, if you don't finish paying, you don't move to your house. And he cannot finish our own and leave the rest. So that this issue has been a back and forth and it's still going on. And now he's telling us the project here, maybe some 5-7 years when he will finish. We've deposited a huge amount of money there. So this question is an experience.
Sorry, man. Sorry, man.
It's an experience.
So I guess that was a very good question.
Yeah.
That was a very good question. We like to ask a few questions, getting to the end of the conversation. And I'm not saying we're getting to the end of the conversation because you need to stick around and listen to these. This is where it all comes together, connected minds, right? Motivation or discipline?
Discipline.
Okay.
Discipline. Discipline because when you are disciplined, you motivate yourself.
That's sharp and brief, but that's solid. What's the best advice you ever received?
From my dad.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not like he said it to me, but his demeanor. My dad was the Methodist bishop. He's a bishop, yeah. But he's retired now in his clergy. So, but the humility of my father is something else. It's something. So his lifestyle has been my it's had a lot of impact on me. He treats everybody with equal respect. Yeah, my dad. He doesn't like to be, even though he was the bishop, but he's just for the people. He's just too humble. Yeah.
The diasporas say that if you're too humble in Ghana, then people start to get into your space and make life a lot difficult for you. So when they come to Ghana, they usually see that it is better to push them to get what you need to get done instead of laying down for them.
The meek is always seen as a fool, but he's the one that gets to the gates of the king and gets to the heart of the king.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
My next question is, what's your favorite personal development book?
Pastor Miles Moron, Understanding Your Potential. Yeah, Understanding Your Potential. Yeah.
So I see that to be able to start entrepreneurship and stay on the path and make it work for yourself, you need to be a reader. You need to be a learner. You know what they say, leaders are readers. And that process is crazy.
Yeah.
And that book sounds awesome.
Yeah,
I'd find it.
Yeah, Miles Moron, Understanding Your Potential.
Then I'm going to take a question for my next guest, okay?
I want to ask their limitations and weakness in whatever they do.
Wow. Limitations and weaknesses in whatever you do. And I hope my next guest is mentally prepared for this question because that is a lot. That could be an entire episode. Yeah. I thank you guys so much for being with us, for staying with us. And to those of you that have not subscribed, we beg of you to. We have many viewers on the channel who listen to the podcast, who watch the podcast, but they haven't subscribed. Do us that favor and turn on that bell. Stay connected.